Got me.
Man.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, Mr. Harper.
How we doing, folks?
Good. How you doing, Rod?
Doing good. How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
So what is this? Happy Easter Eve?
Happy Easter Eve for sure.
Right on.
Man,
got to see lots of folks out the racetrack today, and a bunch of them cut out early. They said, "We got family stuff to do. I gotta go. See ya."
Right. And that's why we got you on early tonight instead of later.
Right. I do. I've got some buddies that came down all the way from South Dakota to test and tune today. So
cool.
They said it's still too cold and none of the racetracks are doing anything up there. So they're like, "Hey, can we come down for your test?" And then they're actually headed to Vegas. They're going to Vegas for that big dollar bracket race that's out there, the Spring Fling. And I had some issues with a new car build that they had. And so they're going all the way back home to South Dakota. Kicking the door car out, loading the dragster, and then going to Vegas. They'll be in Vegas Tuesday morning to start racing. That's some dedication there.
Oh, golly, that is awesome.
Dang.
So yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I used to be that idiot, so I get it.
Shannon Wise is hi guys. Ron Rich is in the house.
Yeah, I see Cliff Aikens won today. He was the first in.
Yeah. He made some nice laps today. He was out there beating on the old Camaro, and he was excited because he kept the front end down. That was the number one goal for him. So
it
looked good. It was making some hay.
Good.
You just got to give him less sticky.
No, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we started the day out with a right lane prepped, kind of a good bracket prep. And then got to meet him face to face for the first time, and then he was like, "Well, I turned it down, this and that." I'm like, "No, don't turn it down. Let's do something else." So I went over to the other lane and I sprayed it with the good compound as far as the high percentage, and kind of made it a radial lane for a little while, and then once they knocked the edge off of it, we opened it up to do both lanes. And we had some crazy stuff going on today. Looks like we had a timer box fail at the end of the day. About halfway through the day, all of a sudden we lost a quarter mile in the right lane. I have no idea why. And I'm like, what the hell? We didn't bump nothing, didn't do nothing. I kept thinking, why do we have gremlins? We shouldn't have any gremlins. We've been running this thing all day. It's been great. And then all of a sudden at the end of the night, my pre-stage in the right lane gets stuck on. And it's only happened to me one time, and it was a timing box. And sure enough, that looks like that was the culprit. So that's why you carry spare parts. I mean, unfortunately, that's a $3,500 spare part, but when it goes bad, you got to have it. So we plug the other box in. We're ready to go for next week.
There you go.
Something like that when it goes bad, is it repairable? Can you send it in and get it fixed?
It is, and they have there's a couple of circuits inside there that are actually like a fusible link that actually control the pre-stage and stage bulbs. And when one of those burns out, it causes the bulb to just stay on. And so it starts out by flickering and doing weird stuff, and then it gets lazy and it stays on, and you're like, what the heck's going on? And then all of a sudden it just it's on and it stays on. Problem is, it doesn't happen very often. It literally happened to me 3.5 years ago. It took hours of me crawling around on hands and knees with Donnie and everything going, there's nothing wrong with it. And then I went, timer box. And you plug it in and you go, okay, well, that's the end of that rodeo. So yeah, it's just one of those mental makes, and you go, okay, if that happens again, it's gonna be the first thing I check. Right. So we'll send that back. They'll fix it for us and get it all put back, and we'll still have a spare. So it's all good.
Well, it looks like it was a good, like a test for the track too, right? You got to have
absolutely
a track as well.
Well, that's the thing is everybody's working bugs out, and usually you'd like to think you got all of them worked out the first week of the deal, but we only ran the left lane. I only had 30 cars, and quite honestly, it's just not cost effective to prep 2 lanes when you only got 30 cars on property. I would rather have 1 killer lane than 2 so-so lanes for the same amount of money.
Right.
So we concentrated on that. So the problem is none of our problems were in the left lane. The problems were on the right lane. So last week we had some issues with the left lane, worked them out, got through the test, everything was fine. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting through some bugs, and
Sure.
that stuff sits all winter long, and
Yeah.
just the mice out there eat everything.
Ooh.
So that is a major problem. I mean, we've got steel wool stuffed in every hole, and them guys eat mice bait like it's candy. And you find the mice bait in the hole with all the stuff that they have been sleeping with. So it doesn't seem to affect them at all. So
Man,
Right.
they're tough.
gotta come up with a better system. Eat some cats, but I don't like cats, so it's all good.
So you had 30 testing today. How many did you have last week?
Well, actually, that last week was 30. This week was over 40, somewhere between 40 and 50. I lost track at 45, but a lot of juniors. Had some juniors out today. Had 4 licensing people, so that's cool. I mean, those are future customers. We like licenses.
Yeah.
Rocky Randall got to bring his new car out and proved that it's really fast, and he needs a license. So that's cool.
I got some
We said
pictures
some-
here.
Yeah,
If
well,
you want to see some of those,
up them up real quick. We'll run through them.
I'm gonna throw this first one up. What's this wild man doing?
Well, so I'm dragging the track, and I see Tracy with a camera, and I'm like, "Hey, me over there." So yeah, hey, you got to have a little fun while you're out here at the racetrack, right?
Yeah,
That-
I'm gonna
that-
keep a hold of this picture. I'm
Oh, yeah, we'll use that
saving
later.
this.
Well, you guys seen the
around.
wheelie? You seen the wheelie picture from last year, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I had the front tires about 4 foot in the air. The front tires would have cleared the green light on the tree last year.
There you
So
go.
I think she was hoping that was what was going to happen. I don't want to go there. So we just got the look over there. We got the look over there deal. So that's cool.
Cool.
I don't have. There's no order of these. I just
Just throw them up. Just throw them up there, and I'll see what we got.
the last hour was kind of a scramble throwing stuff
Yeah.
together.
I got you. So this, and I'm gonna lose. I have my phone. I'll tell you what his name is. I believe it's Steve. He's a comp eliminator racer from Augusta that came down, doing some testing out a set of headers that Wes Collins built.
That's Clayton
And,
Boyer. Mattis. Hi, Clayton.
Yeah. What's up, Clayton? Let's see here. Yeah, Steve Begel out of Augusta. So that's gonna be a mean dude. That's a 6-second ride, quarter mile. Like 11,000 RPM deal. It was crazy. Like it was nasty. It was fun.
Mm.
Getting
What
after
else you got? So that's Tony Henderson's car. That's going to be one of our new sponsors for the track.
And when I was
Henderson-
loading this up, I noticed this Henderson compressed air sticker on the side.
Yeah.
I was curious what that was about.
So the little air compressor picture I sent you, Tony basically upgraded a version of the there you go. It's just a different version of a onboard air compressor that's been built with some top quality parts. That one there is the polished unit. It's light. It's like 3 pounds. And if you're interested in onboard air, they're going to be a sponsor. That unit right there is $400. I can put them in touch with them. Pretty cool unit. But they brought that. That's a 3 Series BMW that they brought down. It's a door car. It was a no box car. Come to find out, the converter was just way wrong. They got a used converter. That's it. And car looks like it's doing 200 miles an hour sitting there. It was a little doggish. So they're taking the car from South Dakota. They're going to haul this car back and load up. He's got a 430 dragster that he's going to load up and take it instead to Vegas. So he thought that he would take that car and turn a lot of heads. The combination's not there. Not for going and racing for $100,000. You want to have your best knife out of the drawer when you're going to go do something like that. So they're going to go home and do that. So that was one of the cars testing today.
Those compressor deals like that, those are real popular setups with like the streetcar driven stuff with, for boost control and the ideas are limitless with what these guys are doing with those air tanks.
Oh, absolutely. No longer needing a CO2 bottle. You can do everything right there in house. They don't draw a bunch of juice. They're fantastic. So if anybody's interested, Henderson compressors, I can get them hooked up with them. And like I said, they're going to end up being a track sponsor. We're going to have probably a couple of these units to give away. I'm trying to get them for the end of year awards for both the bracket side and the heads up side. So another thing to look forward to for our guys.
All right.
What's up?
That's a new super stock car.
Is that Terry Cox?
Terry Cox's new super stock car.
Okay.
So Terry Cox has been a dragster guy for a lot of years, and that's his new super stock ride. Really clean car.
Yeah.
Fantastic, good running deal. There's some of that shiny sticky back there in the background. You see that, right?
Uh-huh.
So we
bars.
Yeah, it's definitely using them wheelie bars. So that was a cool ride. That was a new vehicle that we hadn't seen at Mid America yet. That is, and I'm going to have to get my wife involved. Yeah, Ginger Yates, which is Phil Yates' wife. The ginger part, I blanked. I'm like, I know what it is. I can see her. I'm standing there talking to her. I can't remember. So that's Ginger Yates. Yep, Ginger Yates. Phil Yates, the motorcycle racer, and his kids race juniors, or his kid races juniors. She wanted to race. They built her this car, and she went from it was a little bit intimidating to she was a pro before the end of the day. Her first burnouts were a little rough, and by the end, somebody told her just get mad at it, and well, she had no problems after that. So, Ginger Yates, brand new racer, so that'll be a good deal. Another sportsman car, and
is that a Challenger?
Yeah, that's a Challenger. It's a Hellcat or one of the Hellcat. He's out there all the time. His last name's Putnam as well.
Oh, really? All right.
Rich Putnam is his name. So he's a normal, comes out quite a bit. And 10:18 today, quarter mile, was trying to go in the nines, just didn't quite get enough suds. And those cars just super impressive, just not real great down low. They can't leave more than about 1,800 on the launch, but boy, it eats on the top end for sure. What else you got? Oh, some more juniors. Yep. That's Tyler Lloyd Manuel's son getting some coaching in from dad, and cool. we got his license today, so that's cool. He had a birthday during the no prep race, so he was able to get his license today. So we got him taken care of. The bad part is I know kids in cars, but you take them out of the car, I struggle with names, but that's okay. He ain't but about 4 foot nothing. I mean, he's a little bitty guy, but he's going to be a killer. I mean, he was hitting the tree and driving fast, and he's definitely one of them ones you got to tell him to slow down, not go fast. He had no problem with the go fast.
Another little one.
Yep. Yeah. It's just, I raced quarter midgets when I was a kid, and I was that small when I raced quarter midgets, but it's amazing to see him in a dragster. You're just like, holy smokes, that kid means all helmet.
Tracy Lynn says Stetson.
Yeah, brand new little girl. Just got licensed today. Same deal. Trying to get everybody in and get their WDRA license so they're ready for season start.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool. That's all of the car photos.
Perfect. Then I don't have to try to remember who they all are because I get
more names.
Yeah, that's the worst. The amount of workload this week was ridiculous. I'm ready for some time away for a day anyway.
Sure.
So anyway, what else you got? You might have a couple other photos that I might have sent you.
Yeah, you've been doing some upgrades and doing some construction.
Yeah, I've been doing
there.
Yeah, that's the some more return road patch stuff. I had Justin and Austin's filming out again. I had Richie Pete was out again. I'd love to hire them full time, but they couldn't work for me for what my kind of wages are. But boy, I'll tell you what, when you got to put down that stuff call them, and they knocked out another pallet of that stuff like crazy. We're basically all the way to the main exit, all the way to the ET booth is 100% done. I've got
Wow.
one spot there at the end. We had to kind of pick and choose the spots because we were running low. A pallet of that stuff is $2,500, and I would love to say I'm a one pallet away from being done, but let's face it, once you start heading in that pit area, you could be
Yeah.
40 pallets away.
Right.
But we really are really truly one pallet away from 100% on the return road. 100%. The track is 100%. We've already had some guys that made comments and talked to me today and said, "Man, the track itself is so much smoother at the top end."
Yeah.
And we had some guys going quarter mile and making some serious laps, so that was cool. And then the return road, they're like, "Man, that's so much better. You can just drive back. You don't beat your teeth, and you don't got to try to duck and dive and drive around stuff." And so
Yeah.
it's come together, and a lot of racer support to get us there. Always looking for somebody that says, "Hey, I'll donate $150. I'm going to go turn around, buy buckets with it." Cause that's what our goal is. Our goal is to make it, 100% and be done and move on to the next project. So we know we've got lights and some other equipment that are in a container somewhere between California coast and here. We're probably going to see them sometime second week of April. And then it's a whole nother set of things that we got going on trying to get that done. So we'll just keep plugging along on that side of it, but it's definitely coming together.
Here's some good feedback. This is from Chris Paget. He says the quarter mile was smooth last weekend at 152 miles per hour.
There you go. That's what we
Good
love to
feedback.
hear.
Yep.
So, and it's not even the 152 in the quarter. It's the getting stopped and still having a car left after you get it stopped. And that's where the major issue was. I mean, let's face it, we've all been down there and dodged potholes and everything else. So that's all fixed. I mean, we went all the way down. So it's fantastic to know that you got 2,500 feet of shutdown and it's not going to tear anything up. So
Right.
that's a good thing.
Here is a post you guys made the other day, getting some help from Mel Hamilton with some surface tires.
Yeah. So, and it's a shame to take those brand new tires and cut the sidewalls off of them to put on that drag, but it's what you got to do. And today we went out and touched the track up 2 or 3 times, and it takes a third less time. Within 4 passes, I can tidy the starting line right back up. And even Donnie called on the radio and said, "Man, it's so much better with new rubber," and it just works. So yeah, the Nick Roberts and the folks at Mel Hamilton and Lisa there stepped up big and got us those, and that's a tire that really doesn't exist right now. I mean, Hoosiers kind of makes them sometimes and doesn't make them sometimes. They're extra thick. They got more rubber on them. They've got more of a squared off sidewall, so that if you do have to cut them off, you don't lose much tread. And they're just a fantastic tire to drag with. And I've got the set that's on the tractor and enough to do one more set, so I'm good for a while. So it's fantastic to be able to drag with brand new rubber, though.
Nice. And if anybody's just listening to this and they're not able to watch this post says Mid America Dragway would like to send a special thank you to Lisa Hamilton and Nick Roberts of Mel Hamilton Racing for making sure we have some brand new tires to use for track prep to start off the season. What a great marketing partner to have. Please join us in saying thank you to Mel Hamilton.
Absolutely. And we did. We had a lot of racers that chimed in and said thank you, and they appreciate the fact that those guys are stepping up for us, and we'll take the support. Absolutely.
Yep, that's good stuff. You sent me some photos of this project.
Oh yeah, that would be the new concessions wall. That's Mike, one of our guys. It's got a lot more carpentry skills than I do, but he started working on it. We decided that we needed some more room in the concessions. That the No Prep race showed us that we had the potential to do better, but needed more space to do better. And so we blew that wall out, the old counter, and moved it out 9 feet. And you would be surprised that 9 foot made that big of a difference inside that room, but now they're not tripping over each other. So now we can have a a staging area to make food, a prep area, and then a service line. So it'll give us room to put a couple more bodies in there and a few more things. It's not painted yet. There's a few more, some. We put this white, that RFP board, whatever else, so you can wipe it down real easy. And we've done a lot of things to it to make it nice. That's from the old kitchen. You can see where we blew that wall out.
Okay, so that's how far it moved right there.
Yeah, that's from me standing
Wow.
at the back. Where the old, we can see on the floor where the concrete's brand new looking.
Yep.
That's where that was where the old wall was, and the old cabinets, and we moved that back 9 feet. And like I said, it's made a huge difference. We're going to bring some more power in. Going to add some more fryers. I've got 2 big coolers coming in that are going to stand up in there. So the drink coolers, there'll be one on each side of that window. And thanks to Elite Payment Processing, they and Jorns and Associates, they stepped up, and that's who's basically helping us get all the lights and some of that equipment. So we thank them tremendously, because that's a huge purchase. But we got 2 drink coolers coming in, one on each side, and then our theory was that we could do a fast service window and then an order food window. So that's kind of the process. Just got to get some more employees too. That's the other part. And it's hard to find people that want to give up every weekend of their life, and that's what we ask of them, which is the right thing to do, right?
Did the window width stay the same, or did it get widened up also?
Got 12 foot instead of 8 foot, so we widened it up.
Oh, wow.
So we could do 2 registers.
Nice.
Again, I don't do anything that isn't big plans, big future, where we're gonna go, not where we're at now. I could have moved it and kept it 8 foot, and I probably could have got by, but I knew that if we just had a little more room and a couple more people and another register, we could move that line faster. So we just went for it.
And planning for the future.
That's right. That's right. It's all about where we're going, not where we're at. You can't look over the end of your nose. You got to look down at the end of the hood. So that's kind of where we're at.
Hey, can you go back one picture there, Gary?
Oh,
what was that?
One picture there.
Oh,
do you guys ever plan on using window to serve out of it?
No, here's the problem with the window. The window didn't work out like we thought it was going to, because as soon as you crack that window open and the burnout noise comes in, nobody can hear anything.
Right.
Those windows needed to be on the back side where the noise would be protected, and that could potentially be the down the road. We just ain't got to that decision yet. We own the windows. Right now they're going to turn into where we vent the aroma of the French fries.
Ooh,
French fries.
You could Clark Kent that window with a phone booth right there.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And those French fries that my wife's going to try to lure you into the concessions with.
Oh, we're lured already.
Yeah, you're pre-ordering and you want to go through the drive-up window. I got you, no problem.
That's it.
I got you. So yeah, it's one of those deals where we've done a few things in there, and we're gonna rework it as we go. So looks like we got a comment.
Yes, that's from Cliff. Cliff says a big thank you to the MAD employees for being very accommodating to all of the racers today. Huge improvements in the shutdown area and return roads, silky smooth.
Sweet.
A pretty common observation, from the return road and all that. All the work that you're doing is it's better.
Well, thank you. And yeah, we know we don't do it for the pat on the back. We do it because we know it's going to be a lot better. And when it gets better, it's going to grow. And when it grows, it's financially better, which allows me to make more adjustments and more improvements. So it's a big vicious circle. It's definitely a chicken or the egg scenario for us. And it all leads with money and people coming to the facility and using it. And the more we use it, the more money I got, the more money we're gonna put back in the facility. It's the advantage to having the Maybrier family owning this thing versus just somebody who's in it for the money. They don't care. I mean, let's face it, it's a business. We care if it makes money, but we care if it makes money because that allows us to go do more things. And that's what we want to do. We want to put on bigger shows. I mean, I'd love to have jet cars and do all this stuff, but you're talking $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. And well, guys, it takes a lot of seats to pay for that. And we're just not in that location yet. So we got to get really, really good at what we do and kind of creep up on some of those other things. And as we have some marketing partners that step up would like to see some of that stuff, we'll take their money, we'll invest in those shows, and we'll see how they go. We'd like to build upon a couple of these programs. And I think the no prep stuff, the radio, I mean, look where we're at with the radial stuff.
Yeah.
When I got here, it was done. But it was a lot of Sunday shows. It was, you do the best you can. We've been able to turn them into Saturday events, Saturday evening deals. Those are kind of more fun. We think that we're going to see some more cars. So we're hoping that all of those things really kind of get better. And so that program we feel like is on solid footing and only getting better. The no prep stuff, we learned a lot. We learned what to do, what not to do. We'll make those adjustments and move forward. We think that's a program that does really well. Our bracket racing program started out in the 80 car range. Last race, we had 175 cars.
Dang.
We'll see with Kid opened up. We'll see what that does for us. I don't believe it's going to hurt our car count. I believe in nothing else is going to make it better because there's those guys that are going to be able to run at 2 tracks now, and they'll feel more confident running at 2 tracks because they'll have the ability to race at home and then, okay, I got to travel a little bit, but it's not too big a deal. Which, by the way, we had several people obviously took the Oliver Road bypass, so to speak, to come down today. Said they didn't have any problems, and then anybody going back to Wichita was able to go down the normal way and get on at the regular turnpike exit or entrance, get back on and head north. So they only had to detour the one direction. So that benefits the guys coming from north. So that was cool.
Yep,
Cool.
That's the exact route we went when we went to the no prep, was down Oliver and then came home just the normal way, and everything was just fine.
Yeah. So that was a good thing today. So
And Oliver is
No,
55 mile an hour. It's it's not 80.
yeah,
It's 55.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's good.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's one of them deals that it was plenty wide, and there's only one stop sign, the one you got to turn left at.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, that's the beauty is it's not like you're getting off on a deal where you got to go. Nothing worse in a rig than go, a quarter of a mile, stop sign, quarter of a mile, stop sign. I mean, when you can turn the corner and just set the cruise and go, hey, in 15 minutes, I'll be over this deal. That's
Right.
fantastic.
Yep.
So, and it's 3.3 miles from the ticket booth at the Wellington exit. So if you come off the Wellington exit, ticket booth, turn left, it's 3.3 miles, turn right, run down, it's 15.1 miles, turn left, and you're right, the normal deal. So it's really not that bad.
It's not.
It's probably worse for the guys coming up from Oklahoma because their going home trip is a little more involved than than doing what we did for going north. But they all figured it out because I had guys from Oklahoma today, and I'm sure they made it home.
Good.
Right.
So
So
I got
Gary, last week we talked about parking spaces, and you said you're going to go and kind of get together with Mrs. Harper, and I didn't know if you guys were ready to report out on that.
yeah, that did not happen. That was been busy this week.
There's only so many days, right?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. We talked about it, and we talk about it every night, and we kind of got a map going, but there's a few things that my wife does not do. Draw maps, follow directions. GPS, yes. So she is waiting on me to draw the map out so that she can then go, okay, that one's taken, that one's open, that one's open. That's my tomorrow. I'll get it laid out. Unfortunately for us, our kids and grandchildren are all in Colorado, and we just didn't get to make the trip for Easter. So we're going to plan something. We're going to plan something for Memorial Day. So it's just me and her tomorrow. So we'll get a map laid out, and that will be to come. And then I will message you guys later in the week for your 2 spots that you want. And I think that's not going to be a problem for that weekend. And we'll address the rest of it down the road. Our deal is we'd like to get it all handled because we want the income. Because I'm going to turn around and go, guess what? Buy more buckets.
More buckets.
Pallets
Buy
of
more
buckets.
buckets.
That's right.
So yeah, it's a pretty good deal. We definitely need it, and we talked about it today, but it just, man, it's been a butt kicker,
Cool.
and it's okay. That's okay because we're getting a lot of stuff done. So it's
All right.
so, and I got a couple guys that are still on the fence, and I don't want to boot anybody out of a spot that they've had for a while, and they're still on the fence. And so this will be a last opportunity for us to go, okay, look, last ditch. We're now or never. Decide where you're at, and let's go for it.
All right. Well, let's talk about Friday night. We got a little test coming up this Friday.
Got a little test. We're going to probably start about 2:00 in the afternoon. I got safety coming. We're going to be light on staff till about 5. Obviously, I've got people getting off work and that kind of stuff. So as long as everybody's real patient with us, we'll get that thing rolling. You guys can come in and get parked in the morning, and then just nobody goes down the racetrack until we got all of our, waivers signed, wristbands paid for, get all that deal done. Trying to run approximately 2 to 8. We'll see how it goes. We also know how I am. My wife knows how I am. If we get down to, it's 10 minutes to 8, and somebody's like, man, I need one more and I could be here in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I never cut anybody off, and everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I've literally been at racetracks that it's supposed to stop at 8:00, and 8:00 the manager walks over and flips the light switch off on the racetrack.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I mean, we got too much invested here. You do, I do, we all do. So, but I also can't say I'm going to be closing at 8 and stay up until 11:30 at night.
Right.
Unless somebody unfolds a whole lot of $100 bills. Then we can stay open as long as we need. But,
Talking to you, Rod.
but it is one of those situations where there is a certain amount of budget that is laid aside in a certain amount of time that we go, okay, we can do this, and it costs us this, and I need this many cars to pay for it. And, the goal is to not lose money. So,
Yeah.
So that's what kind of puts the time constraints on stuff, is the almighty dollar.
Man, I tell you what, Harper, you're just, every time I turn around, you're posting something, new improvement, grinding out there on your hands and knees, literally, putting those pallets of buckets in, getting the rubber down for the tractor to build up the surface, and now the concession stands and new lights coming in, and hats off to you.
Well, and like I said, it's not just me, it's a crew. And that's the fantastic part, is I've got a lot of people that have stepped up to help us do it. And I got Chris that just looks at me and goes, well, if that's what you think. So far, everything we've done has worked. So I guess it's okay. I mean, I cringe because I know what stuff costs, and I know I've spent money already this year that I won't make back until into summer, hopefully. But the end goal, guys, it's the end goal. It's the end goal, and you just got to keep pushing for the end goal. And unfortunately, I'm the kind of guy that I just keep moving my own goalpost. Every time I say, well, if I could just get the return road done to here, I'd be happy. And then I got done to that, and I went, well, hell, we're only this much from the next. And then I got that done. And it was like, well, another pallet I could get to and it evolved. It evolved, but boy, it is nice. I've had a lot of people that come up and said, hey, the top end's nice. You know where you're turning off the track. You don't get tangled up with another car because you're trying to figure out where to get off and where's the rocks and where's the. It's really, really nice, and I'm okay with that. And we, like I said, Daniel's Ready Mix. I'm gonna owe Roland for the rest of my life, because he just gave us all of those and said, pay me when you got it, because he knows. I told him, I said, dude, I can't do nothing like that, and he said, just do it. And then West Kelly Trucking bent over backwards to get it delivered to us, and that's fantastic. And so we're full steam ahead, man. It's all good. But yeah, Heads Up Racing's coming. I got PMRA guys are excited. Chad and his folks are going to come pair up the 2-wheel deal, and I really wished that those guys ran with the clocks on, because I'm telling you right now, there's guys on 2 wheels outrunning guys on 4 wheels like a lot.
Right.
Yep.
And it is amazing how fast those guys are, and that is awesome. And I wish I could say my motorcycle track record is blank, but I can't. All I can say is my motorcycle track record is faster than the old car record. How's that? Okay. That's a hint where those guys are running. They're fast.
That's rolling.
They're crazy.
Yeah, and that is legit, and there ain't no way I would do that.
Yeah.
So,
Nope.
So April 6th, this weekend, just talking through it, we will not have the Dragon Drive, right? This weekend.
no drag and drive this weekend, and no tailgate. This one, that one, we're gonna reserve that for the May 4th race that we're having. So, and that's gonna be okay. We've got. I think we're gonna have a full house for this one. Um, Kid hasn't started their schedule yet, so we won't lose any cars that would potentially be going there for a points race. The bracket guys that normally cross over to the index classes may or may not be at Kid for their first points race, which that is the weekend of the May 4th. So that's why we opted to try the Dragon Drive and the tailgate class on that weekend, because we figured we would be down some cars and thought it'd be a nice way to help fill the show. Plus, it'd probably give me a little bit more time to kind of work with those groups. I'm excited about both of them. I think it's a fantastic deal. Brian Wise and the truck guys, I think is a cool deal. All of them. That's a cool event. We're definitely going to do the drag and drive. We're going to have a drive for both of them. We're going to try to send them out together. We've got it. Cliff and I have got some revised rules. I don't know if you ended up with a copy of those, but we've put them out there. We want to make sure that we want the right cars to end up in this deal. We don't want it to become I've got a 480 car and I'm going to try to do this and hopefully limp it through and make the drive. Make it a real deal car that's going to do this. I mean, I get it. There are drag and drive cars that are, let's face it, there's some 5-second players out there in a quarter mile. This is just more of a fun deal, and let's just see what we can do and add to what our deal is already. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited. Track's going to be phenomenal with our new rubber and lots of sticky. I mean, I got 7 barrels of glue. Well, let's hope I don't burn them all, because that would be very, very expensive. But I also I'm not afraid to use what I got to use to make it right. And I think that if you're going to do legit radial racing with advertised radial prep, that you ought to be able to go out and touch the track up. Our thinking is, or my thinking is consistency. If I look at the weather conditions and I go, hey guys, I can only spray this thing at 85 or 90%, but I can keep it that grip level for the whole entire day. That's better for you as a tuner than I got this killer track for qualifying and it ain't worth a shit for first round. And let's face it, that happens at a lot of facilities. That's kind of the norm is, get it good for qualifying and then just quit working on it. And that drives me nuts. I want the final to be the best pair I got. Period. Right. I want the best numbers at the end of the evening. When the money's on the line, I don't want somebody going up in smoke because the track just wasn't there. Now, if the track was there and you just got outside your wheelhouse, that happens. But I don't want it to be my problem. I want it to be your tuning issue. Sure. So we try to, whatever that track will hold that day, that's what you're going to get. And there are those days when it's 65 degrees and overcast and mixing the glue. Hell, we're going to spray it 100%. We're going to go slow and we're going to drag it and we're going to make it as crazy as it's going to be. And we can keep it that way all day. But if it's going to get 80 degrees at some point, got to back it off a little bit, but I can keep it there. So that's my goal is not necessarily make it, the nastiest thing that you've ever seen in your life. I just want it to be killer the whole day. And the bike guys really appreciate that because they become wheel standers when the prep changes all of a sudden. And so, I wouldn't want to ride one of them on one wheel. There ain't no way in hell. So anyway, so that's our plan. It will be next Saturday. Gates open at like 8 a.m. I think we're going to go live at 11. Okay. The drag and drive portion of that deal, need everybody at the facility at 10 o'clock. What we're planning on doing is the drag and drive guys will go out first. They're going to make a test hit. They're going to come back to their trailer. Within 10 minutes of the last car going down the track, We're going to line up and go for the drive. Once you leave your trailer, you're done. Whatever fuel you're going to put in it, whatever you're going to do happens then. We go on the drive. When we come back from the drive, we bring you right back to lanes 5 and 6. We're going to have our chip draw, pull them up, race them. So I think it's fantastic because it's going to be a situation where you're going to tune for the racetrack and not necessarily for the guy that you're racing. Draw the pills, pull them up. That's not ain't going to be none of this. Pull the pills and go back to your trailer for 45 minutes and contemplate how fast can he go and can I back this thing off a little bit and make sure it goes down. No, nope. Drive it to the lanes. You can't add fuel. You can change air pressure, and you can get your computer out if you want to do some tuning. But you better be ready to go. So that's going to be our drag and drive deal and our pickup truck class. We'll do both of those. We'll do those back to back. Where they come back and get in line with the rest of the racers for first round will truly depend on where we are in the run order. Once we start that run order with those guys at 11 o'clock, they'll go do their drive. When they fall back in, we'll figure out where we're going to stick them in the run order according. I do have the run order if you guys want to run down it, because I know that people come back to this and watch it after the fact. If you give me 1 second, I can.
We talking about May 6th run order?
May 4th.
Actually, this race, that May 6th race, we'll wait on it. But I've got the run order for this weekend if you want it.
Yes.
So there's a drag and drive this weekend, April 6th.
No drag and drive this weekend.
Yeah, Gary.
It's only May.
It's May 4th.
It's only May 5th. No drag and drive this week. I got you too excited. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
May 4th. I'm sorry. May 4th.
Right.
Gates open at 8. We're going to start going down at 11. Spectators, $15. 17 under are free with pay adult.
Yep.
So at 11 o'clock, the run order is.
It's going to go Grudge motorcycle, small tire, 520 index bikes, then the pro bracket bike. Then it's going to go 650 car, 620 bike, 570 car, 460 motorcycle, 560 motorcycle, 12.0 door car. I can't tell what that is. I can't even read my own thing. It's a bike class. What did I put? Looks like a bracket. It's a bracket bike class. Sorry. Then a 600cc grudge bike class, and then we're going to do the pro open class, then the 470 door car class, then the 750 door car class, then big tire. So we're trying to do the big tire and the 470 guys at the dead last because we shook a lot of tires on the 470 guys and the big tire guys. I mean, it's your radio prepping. They don't need it. So we're going to try to run through that whole entire list and then slide them in. And so basically the only change that changes when you guys when we do the May 4th race is those guys will go out on their drive. They'll be out first. They'll be dead first. And then they'll go out and do their drive. And then wherever they come back in is where they'll fit in. So this basic run order will stay the same, except we're going to be adding in the 2 classes. So it won't be a big deal. We won't be shocking anybody. I just want to get that out there that, hey, you're going to make a pass. You're going to go to your trailer. You're going to get 10 minutes. Then you're going on the road and you're coming back straight to the lanes. We're doing a chip draw. You're going racing. There it is. That's it. So,
yep. And Chris Paget says, are they having drag and drive class this first race? No, not April 6th. It's May 4th.
Yeah, it's May 4th. No, nothing on this one. No drag and drive on this one. Couldn't put it together in time, guys.
This is Brian Wise. He says enough time between truck and drag and drive to enter both classes on May 4th.
Yeah, we can put that together, bud. I just want to make sure that we have everybody gathered up for their time run. Streetcar. Can't you get back in a hurry? Streetcar. Be at the beginning of the drag and drive, at the end of the truck. We'll figure it out. I just need everybody to make their drive together. Then we can separate them a little bit. We'll make it work.
This
Well, he'll
is
have to
Troy.
do 2 cruises if he enters 2 classes.
What's
Yeah,
that?
2 cruises.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
2 cruises twice. This is Troy Aves. He says there's some 4-second cars that will qualify for those rules in drag and drive. Probably eventually.
I get it. Come on down. I mean, I can't stop you. What we're
There's
planning
one
on
right
doing
here.
is what we're
There's
planning
one
on
right
doing is
there.
yeah, we're planning on 2 classes. We're planning on a wild and a mild. So we won't know how that's going to divide up until everybody makes their hit. So if you think you got one of them 4-second cars, come show me. And then you're just going to end up in the wild class. The wild class will pay better. Absolutely. So yeah, I see all that. I know. I got you.
I've looked at the
Right
rules.
there.
This fits
I-
all the rules.
I know it does. Yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't want to rule it to death, guys. I mean, we're just trying to do something fun, and we just don't want to rule it to death. And that could happen really, really easy.
Yep.
So
There's a bunch
we'll
of
see how
cool
it goes.
cars around here that can fit in that deal.
Absolutely. And you know what? Again, we're there to come and enjoy the cars, looking for the support for the track. Honestly, what I'm hoping is we end up with a bunch of future 275 limited cars is what I hope happens.
Right.
That's the goal for me. And then of course
For
create
sale, big block.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that other class is going to get fast.
They all do. Anytime you race heads up, you're gonna have that. Cream rises to the top. Doesn't matter what cake you're building. It is what it is. I mean, I can only imagine where those caps and those bubbles end up. I mean, yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of discussion on that first 3-second run, and I agree with you guys. It's gonna take a monumental run because it's a bunch to pick up a 10th once you're already going that fast. And I absolutely agree with you. But I think there's some guys that went out and spent a lot of money to try. So we'll see how it goes. So we hope, and it's not going to be for a lack of effort on my end. So
Right.
I'm more than I'm more than prepared to make it happen. So let's just see if I can put everything together. So anyway, what else you got?
That's all the pictures we had. We got through the pictures that Tracy sent and the concession pictures.
Perfect.
The comment
Geek.
here. Who's this? Troy says Outlaw will be 4.0, Limited will be 4:30. Not yet. Close.
Yeah, no.
Not yet.
No, I don't think it's going to quite get that nasty, but it'll be pretty good. We'll see what happens. Yeah, no, I think we're in pretty good shape. Obviously, you guys coming to testing, Rodney?
Yep. Be there Friday night.
Friday night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wish I could have been there today, but it just didn't work out.
Hey, yeah, you still slacking, or is your car done?
No, I'm done. I'm just finaling everything out, just putting it back together. Right. I'll be there.
I got you. That's all good.
She had French fries ready for you to go. Now they're cold.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That would have been worth going right there, though.
That's right.
Mission right there.
Hey, if the wind blows from the south, we should smell them.
So I'm betting. The wife's over here dying. You got her good on that one. No, yeah. Who would have thought, right? French fries at the racetrack would work out. That would be good.
We don't know. We haven't had them.
Yeah, the corn dogs are good. I can tell you that.
I'm telling you, you're missing out on the French fries. You got to get in on that deal. Figure it out.
With the concessions, I want to mention this again. Thank you for getting rid of these stupid little packets. That's a time saver too, you know.
I know.
In and out,
so what that got started during COVID. You could not buy ketchup in bulk anymore. You couldn't, as a restaurant, you couldn't serve it that way. So you had to do the packets, and then it just became the norm. I get it. Well, yeah. I'm with you. I want to be able to just go whoosh. Okay, we're done. I'm next.
Yeah.
And honestly,
and
financially, it's better for us. It really, truly is. So win-win, right? I mean, how many times as a business How many times as a business do you get to win and your customer gets to win at the same time? And how many times would you go do that? You're going to do them as many times as you can. So any spot where I can find a win and give you a win at the same time, we're in.
There you go.
We're in.
We're in for the win. That's going to be my new
fries
slogan.
for the win.
French fries for the win with ketchup.
Yeah, I made that.
Now
That's a custom deal. I made that.
Yeah, you did really well on
I
that.
just wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Yes, no, yes, perfect.
Oh.
Well, as usual, guys, I enjoy the show. We're looking forward to having you all out. It's going to be. I can't guarantee anything other than effort. I mean, I don't know what the weather's going to be. Looks like it's good on the multi-day forecast. Looks like we're supposed to be in that. Yeah,
Yep.
It ain't 100, and it ain't going to be wet, so
Right.
I can make the rest of it work.
Yep.
Like I said, we started out this morning with a radial lane, and we ran a lot of cars down it and never had to touch it. Never had to do. I mean, the bracket cars were like probably overstuck. I had a couple of juniors that went down that lane. It was like they're in the cars bouncing around trying to get them to stage because they were stuck to the track. I was like, sorry,
Bogged down
but
a little bit.
yeah, sorry, but it's sorry, not sorry. It's a good racetrack. So I got a couple of little spots on the top end that we're going to do a little buff work on, and we're going to part of our. You get back to the pit spot deal. There's a few lines that I need to remove to make some spots bigger. Once I remove those lines, then I'll know where things are going to go. Like where Cameron parks Marzoff, that back row there going down along the grass. Some of those are going to be made longer because let's face it, the rigs have gotten longer.
Yes.
And so a couple of those spots are going to just keep getting shoved a little further down. And then there'll be a little bit of adjustment on the other side of the racetrack. Same deal. Overall, just let's keep working, man. Just keep working. We'll see what happens. It's got a big bright future. I just gotta make sure I put all the right pieces together and cross all the T's and dot all the I's and keep my timer boxes under wraps, and we'll be in good shape.
Well, you're killing it so far. So.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate everything you do.
Thanks for
Appreciate
coming
everything
on.
you do, and not a problem. I hate to run, but dinner with the folks from South Dakota is calling, and I'm glad that they decided to go straight to the restaurant because if they were in my background, they would be a mess right now because they are that's those kind of you've got those kind of friends. That's my kind of that. These are my guys, and they will harass me to the end. So good thing that we're done. But I'm glad that they came down and got to spend some time with us, and they really like the facility. And of course, it's all done to them. They think it's perfect, and I'm like, oh yeah, well, the beginning to where it is now to where I want to take it. Come back in a year and see where I'm at. So we'll keep working.
Thank you, Mr. Harper.
Okay, guys, we'll catch you later. We'll see you
Mr.
Friday.
Harper. See you Friday night.
Be ready to go fast.
Yes.
That's you, Rod.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
See you, Mr. Harper.
Thank you, Mrs. Harper. Ready for some fries? I see you announcing.
Just close it.
Oh, that was good, man. They're making such good improvements out there, and just excited to keep seeing what they're going to do next. And if it's not on the track, it's off the track, right? And
there's 8. I see there's 18 watching. Do not leave. We're not done. We just had to shift where Mr. Harper came in so he could go do his business with his friends. So don't leave. Right, Rodney?
Sure.
Jeff Weiler, he says, thanks, boys. Jeff,
yeah.
Grab a drink. We're not done. We just had a shift in the shift.
Yeah, Mr. Harper, we asked him to come on last week, and it's Easter weekend, and so he had some family come in, and so we wanted to bring him on first instead of us talking first, just so he can get on to the restaurant. But we wanted to show off what they did this week and kind of the new cars that came out, and you can see that it's growing, man. Those juniors coming in, that's just, we didn't have that stuff coming in, Gary, when I was that age.
No.
It's just awesome to see that. But
it's cool. Them young kids have that opportunity to do that.
Sure.
This is Troy here. Troy says Outlaw will be 4.0 to 410, limited 430, drag and drive 450s to 460s, limited aside from Titans won't, it won't be anything until next year.
Well, and that's true. Limited's next year. And I get Troy's point. And
Yep. Everything's getting faster.
What do you think a mid-pack car would be, though? You know what I mean? That's probably the leading edge.
Which class?
What's that?
In which class?
Any of them?
A mid-pack car, Outlaw. I think you probably need to run 40s or faster to get in the mid.
Yeah.
And it depends on car count too, obviously, but
sure.
But yeah, it gets in that right there, those numbers, that 4.0 to 410 range, I'm out. I've got a big block that I'm not going to use. And then I'll look somewhere else. Or I'll have to bail completely. I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean. You'll go fast. You'll go fast.
It won't go that fast. It won't go this 4.0 to 410 fast.
Well, but that's fine. But like what we were just talking about, mid pack or what, 30s or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, to go rounds like that. Yeah, for sure. 40s and faster, probably.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you'll do that. But this limited, it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to have the same rules with Titans as well, with the doors and just everything that comes with that. There's some frame rails and other things. So we'll see.
This is Troy. So this is his mid-pack numbers: 4.3 in Outlaw, 4.50s in Limited, 5.0 in the Drag and Drive.
Mm-hmm. And that Limited is limited to a small block boosted deal, right? And then you can have nitrous, you can have a big block.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drag, and he's right in his comment earlier about some 4-second drag and drive stuff.
Sure.
No doubt, because there's
they're already here.
A bunch of them. Jason Flowers, Troy's car, my car. There's
well, Jason Flowers has already done it.
Yeah. His car runs 60s easy. Mrs. Harper says the rules will mimic the Titans. Yep, and that's great. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Gary, what'd you do this week?
Man, I did some stuff.
Yeah.
I even wrote down what I did.
Oh, okay. You got a list?
Just to prove that I did some stuff.
Is that a grocery list or is that a to-do list or what is that?
This is what I did list.
Oh, okay.
And I did this today. I'm like, I need to write this stuff down or I'll forget, because I know he's going to ask.
Yeah.
And then when I read this stuff, it's like, this is about an hour's worth of work that took me all week, I think. But so let me tell you what I did.
Let's hear it.
The transmission is in because I was cleaning the garage and I was walking around stuff.
Were you tripping over it?
Well, here's what I did. There's a lot of stuff that needs done on my car. You can tell. So I took the easy route. You keep talking about the 2 pipes that need welded over here. I didn't even touch that stuff. What I did was instant gratification. So that fabrication stuff is not instant gratification. It's time. It's staring at stuff, figuring out how things are going to go. So I took the easy route. The transmission was in the way, sitting on the floor. I thought I should throw the transmission in. So I threw the transmission in. I put the converter in, bolted all that up. The dipstick is in. I put the starter in. I made a new power cable from the bulkhead down to the starter. The drive shaft is in. It's all bolted up. The shifter linkage is hooked up. I'm working on some more wiring for the some grounds on the engine and stuff. Just about an hour's worth of work. That's all.
Cool.
But it needs done,
Oh yeah, all that little stuff adds up too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I was looking at my bench, just trying to pick stuff that I can grab and get off the bench and get it on the car. Just quick and easy. And like I said, just instant gratification that you can see this is done, mark it off. This is done, mark it off. But that tubing, cutting, and welding, that's just time consuming. And I wanted some quicker some quicker results and satisfaction. So
Yeah, I got to get some little wins,
Yes, absolutely. I took the easy way out, man.
Yeah. Well, you knew I'd be asking, so you wanted to get a long list going there. So you did a good job.
I knew you would. That's why I wrote this down.
Well, and I may have tapped into your little home security system there. I think I might have got some spy photos as well. And so
well, pull it up. I want to see it.
Up. I don't know if you've seen these yet, but I'll go ahead and pull them up. But you don't know if you've seen these yet, so go ahead.
Let me see it.
There you go.
Oh, man. Somebody caught me vacuuming.
Oh, well, I had to. You're cleaning shop, right? That's why I knew you were tripping over that transmission.
Man, that's about what I did all week was clean shop. We always want bigger garages.
Right.
And you know how to make your garage bigger? Clean it. Man, clean your garage and you'll make your garage bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth. The only time you don't want a big garage is when you're painting the interior walls.
Right.
That's when you don't want a bigger garage or a bigger shed. The shed out back, you want to get it as big as possible until comes time to paint the outside. And you're like, man, I wish I didn't have this big old shed.
I don't want to do that.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. Well, I appreciate those spy photos, and I saw you working, so it's official. I checked in on you.
Yeah, and, I got my camera up here.
I know where your camera's at. Inside and outside. But I thought that was pretty cool. And you got to clean up a little bit too every once in a while. So
honestly, that was most of my week was cleaning stuff. I had a mess everywhere, and the more messes I found, the more time I wanted to spend cleaning and picking things up. Yeah. So I didn't start working on the car till like Thursday after work. We got off early, and that's when I kind of really started focusing.
What happens? You're cleaning stuff up, and you like, oh man, I just ordered one of these. I forgot I had this.
What's worse than that is having a car tore apart for a year and a half, trying to remember where shit goes.
Hey, where over here, converter bolts.
Over here today, there's some wiring coming out of the firewall. So I had these wires. I'm like, I think these went to the accumulator. This was just a few hours ago. So I took the loom off. There was 2 wires. One of them wasn't. It was just in the loom. I was like, this must be a ground or something. I got rid of it. I pushed the other wire through the firewall. I pulled it through the firewall into the cab of the car.
Right.
Then I traced that wire to see where it was going to go. Like I'm going to have to unhook it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, it went up to the dash to a connector. And then that connector went to a push button. That push button was for my primer pump that was on my fuel cell. I was like, crap, I need that. So I didn't have it marked. I take green tape and I mark this stuff. Well, I didn't mark this. So I had to push it back through the firewall, pull it back through, tie it all up. Then I took some green tape this time and I marked what it is. Cause I'm going to use the primer pump again. It's like, and doing that, I'm thinking, God, I didn't remember that was a thing out here, but dang, it's been too long.
Cool.
Oh,
well, we can do a few things. We can go with Cliff, or we can go with the Missouri boys down in Texas.
Yeah, and I got a handful of stuff too. Cliff says roll call for small tire and big tire for April 6th. I hear there's a bad big tire coming.
Talking about Brandon?
And this is Troy. Troy says, you can tell when you get closer to being down after years being down as the amount of parts on the shelf slowly goes down.
That's right.
You're right. And my table isn't reducing its size. And Tiffany, my wife, was giving me crap because I was cleaning, and she looks at the table over there and she goes, "Are you just stacking stuff on that table?" I was like, maybe.
Or what are we doing here? It's supposed to go on the car.
She goes, "You're just making that pile on the table bigger." So I think she's kind of right.
No, she's got your number.
And Cliff, your deal here with the big tire or small tire, we'll get to that. And we need to start somewhere, Rodney.
Yeah, man. I think there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend we need to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. this is very important. This isn't race car related.
Is this an
Uh,
important announcement?
this is breaking news. What's his comment? Jeff Weiler says, I just painted my shop walls and floor. I thought it was a 1-week project. It took me 3 weeks. It's so clean now that I don't want to work on anything that might get it dirty. Yeah, it feels pretty good to have a clean garage. So this breaking news, I'm following this. And it is in, it pertains to StreamYard. And I got a few deals I'm going to put up here and read because we have a Facebook group for Heads Up Racing Gary and Howard podcast. This is admin. This stuff I'm going to post is from the StreamYard Facebook group. And I knew this was coming because I seen it, but it actually became official. This says Facebook has announced they're removing all third-party apps from Facebook groups. This means you won't be able to add the StreamYard app to your group. You can live stream to the group through either stream to a page and share that in the group or stream to the group using the custom RTMP destination feature on StreamYard. We are actively working with Facebook to find easier solutions. I saw this coming a while back, and then I got a notice from Facebook that it's happening. So I don't know what their solution is going to be. I'm going to keep my eye on it through the StreamYard Facebook group and through YouTube because they have a YouTube channel and they have tons of information. But I wanted to put that information here because if we lose, we're streaming this to the Facebook group right now after, what's that date? There's a date, April 22nd. After April 22nd, third-party apps will no longer be available. I'm assuming this means you will no longer be able to stream to Facebook groups. If anyone knows more on this than I do, blah, blah, blah. So that's where we're at, April 22nd. I'm going to keep an eye on that group page, see what gets said about it. But I just wanted to put that out there that we may not be able to hit the group page. So what that means it'll be my profile page and yours, Rodney. We need to get that straightened out yet too. And the YouTube channel will be okay. But I know there's a handful of people, like there's 9 people right now watching through the group page. And after the 22nd, with this notification, it won't no more unless they get something worked out with Facebook. So I just wanted to put this out there and give everybody a heads up that will listen to this, that something may change with the group stuff. It'll still hit their profiles just like it is now. My profile, your profile, and YouTube, obviously, but the group stuff is going to be different. So I just wanted to put that out there. We're going to keep an eye on it and see how that's resolved. April 22nd is a Monday. So we'll have a show on the 21st probably, and the next day is the 22nd. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Last week we talked about the garage. Remember the garage event with Advanced Engine? They made this post the other day because that deal was on the 26th on Tuesday. Had Mark Brown and Stefan in there. This says the largest lunch and learn at the garage today. Thank you to Mark and Stefan Brown with Advanced Engine Machine for sharing the history of your company and answering questions on the evolution of performance engine. Your work on vehicles like farm truck is fascinating. We appreciate your continued support. So that sounded like that event went really good. There's a picture of a bunch of people in there, and off on the right, you can see Stefan and Mark. And here's Stefan and Mark. Mark looks like Mark has a hold of a piston in his hand.
Yeah.
Talking. That would have been a really cool deal to attend.
Yeah, I would have.
Yep. It went over great. A big attendance for that deal, they said. And there's Mark and Stefan. Mark on the left and his son, Stefan Brown, on the right there. Great people up there in Salina.
Yeah, definitely.
Good, smart dudes. We'll get to the small tire count here in just a second. But you remember Marvin in his Corvette?
Yeah.
He sent me some more pictures.
Cool.
Look at that. Woo.
Nice.
This is gonna be a cool
good.
car.
Looks sharp. Like to see it in person. That looks really
Yep.
nice.
Yep, it's gonna
Good
be
for him,
super
man. That is
cool.
awesome.
You notice that valve cover? Oh, hang on. It's the next. What was that one? But the next picture too. Look at that. AEM on that valve cover. Advanced
There you
engine.
go.
Mark
There
and
you go.
Stefan.
Nice.
You see it in there too. Yeah. Yep. So he's working on that thing. He didn't have a. It'll be a little bit. So he's still working.
That's cool. He's making stride. That's for sure. Looks
Yep.
nice. It looks
Yep.
really nice. Excited to see it in person. I know it's
Yes,
gonna be
me too. And I seen this the other day. This is Tate and Cheever. He works at ICT Billet. He says drag and drive ready-ish. This was from a video. I took a screenshot. He pulls it out of the shop, got the trailer hooked up. So hopefully that means like he'll be wanting to do the drag and drive event at MAD.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if he'll be ready May 4th. Maybe he will.
Yeah.
But Shannon said Jordan has been helping him out and stuff, getting the car finished
Cool.
up and buttoned up. So yeah,
Cool.
it'd be a cool deal.
Yeah, it's another one. That's awesome.
Yep. The Texas deal. There's a bunch of guys in Texas, and this was a post yesterday from Russell. Look at this, making passes, getting faster every pass. 413 with a 103 60 foot.
Man, 103.
Woo!
That is getting it.
Man.
Yeah, it was good seeing them last night and watching that feed, you know, and you know, I knew it was going to go late. You know, I think I watched first round. They had a little a terrible incident that happened. Everybody was okay, but so it went a little late. But it was kind of funny. I had to take the girls to the airport this morning. They had a flight to catch to go to Orlando for a girl trip, and so it was 3:30, 3:40 in the morning when I got back up to take them. And I thought, well, let me check it out. Yeah, they were in the semis.
Holy cow.
I watched the semis and the finals. They got done at 4:20 a.m. And
wow.
Yeah. And I think round 2's tonight. You know, they have like Big Bear and Little Bear or whatever it's called, and 275 and 28s and all steel, all glass. And they're just rolling down there. Good to see Derek Kelly and Foreman and Jake Mason and Devin Brown had the silver car, and Justin Heckman's there rolling out. I mean, those guys are representing.
I got a bunch of pictures there. You want to see that?
Let's check it out.
Okay. Let me get the right deal here. I just grabbed a bunch of these like within the last hour leading up to starting the show. Heckman and the parachutes out on the return road. Heckman getting ready to do a burnout.
Yeah, it looks good.
Jake Mason. Looks like Heckman's car under the tower.
Yeah.
These photos are great, man. They're good pictures.
That's great. Man, he had all the candles lit when he was rolling down Betty White.
Yeah. Jake Mason. The Jake in the dark. It looks like Devin's car in the other lane there with Heckman.
Yeah.
And I don't know like what round of any of this stuff was. It's just some pictures we snatched off of Facebook.
Yeah.
That's a cool picture of Jake's car.
Yeah.
There's Devin.
And this is at Extreme, right? Outside of Dallas?
Yep. Russell's car.
Cool picture of the shoots.
Brian has a comment here. This is Brian Wise. He says, so far, Jake won round 1, Devin lost, and Derek Kelly is up soon.
Oh, great.
Cool. Thanks for the info, Brian.
Thank you.
Good deal.
Yeah. Looks like Foreman's all business there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to find this guy in a dark alley unless he was on my team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's serious business there. Doing some round maintenance, looks like there, and his son, I think, there in the beard.
Sure.
Devin under the tower.
Yeah. Look at all those people, man, on the starting line.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of people there. Yeah. That's kind of how it is in Ennis, too, when we go there.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty busy. This is Russell's giant thing.
959 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's Devin showing off his beard.
Mhm. Now that's an LS deal, right? With a Vortec.
Yeah, I think so.
That thing runs.
Blower wise, I don't know what it has for a blower, but
he had a Vortec last time, but they might have changed it.
Okay. This is Barry Peter. Barry says Brian Wise is multitasking, watching us and giving us updates on the XRP race. Barry, are you going to be racing the truck next week? And I got one more picture from XRP with Russell here.
Looking good.
Yep. Dun, dun, dun. Let me get back to here. Oh, I went too far. Kansas International Dragway. They keep throwing out sponsors, so we'll keep giving them a shout out. They put this up, CNR Dragway. We appreciate your sponsorship and support. 164th and 124th scale drag racing.
Cool.
And I think they either used to do this or in the West Mall. Don't they have a little racetrack in the West Mall, Town West? I think
they yeah, not for sure.
Yeah, I don't know where this, it's Mount Hope, but this is Barry says, I think so, in an index class. Cool.
There's plenty to choose from.
Yep. Kansas International Dragway says, thank you, Allied Battery, for your sponsorship and support. I went to Allied Battery Thursday after work and got new batteries for my diesel truck.
Nice.
The Napa batteries that was in it when I bought it lasted probably longer than they should have. And I went to O'Reilly's, close your ears, Brian, and bought batteries from O'Reilly's. And I knew from the first hit of the switch, it wasn't the same.
Wasn't as good?
Was not as good. But that was 3 or 4 years ago. So I went to Allied Battery here. These guys, they had a couple of batteries for me, and we're back to good killer cranking power. It's like it should be.
Right on.
So
sounded like they treated you right there.
Yes. Chris Wilson says Rob Bowden is back in the saddle. His car looks fire. Troy says, ever hear back about prep at Heads Up for Kids?
We'll
get to that in a second. We'll get there because I got some other stuff. I got another pot I want to stir with that. Another sponsor, Luxury Lawn and Landscape. We know this guy. Many thanks to Luxury Lawn and Landscaping for their sponsorship and support of Kansas International Dragway. Cameron and his guys, man, my yard looks good. Kansas International Dragway says, help us thank Woodward Mercantile for their sponsor support. Stop by your closest store for your spring gardening and landscape projects. Woodward Mercantile. And we know these guys too, Holzman Race Cars. From one Wichita racing legacy to another, we appreciate your sponsorship and support. Holzman Race Cars.
I hope to see them out this year.
Yep. Yeah, and big tire stuff. It sounds like Brandon will be out hopefully next week. I think I seen a deal where they said that's going to be their first outing is at MAD. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, I want to see that car up close in person after the rebuild.
Yeah. So Troy was talking about track prep at Kid. And I made the comment last week that it was not going to be radio prep.
Right.
But you and I found out otherwise.
Well, hold on a second. Let's review.
Okay.
So last week we were on the call here and we were going back and forth and somebody said, no, it's not going to be radio prep. And
that was me. I said that.
No, it is going to be radio prep. But then we were talking too about like, what is radio prep? Because good prep, radio prep, light prep,
yeah,
everything in between. I think even Harper chimed in to said, followed up your point as far as, you got how would you want to say a not correct radio prep is bad for radio cars because a no prep car can get down because of the way their suspension is set up, and kind of talk through that a little bit.
Yeah.
And then so we got with Kenny, and what did he say?
It's going to be radio prep.
He did say that.
So, and when I said that, I said I could be wrong.
No, yeah, same here. We both assumed it. We didn't know.
And I said I've been wrong. I'm wrong a lot, and I
Sure.
was absolutely wrong. And Kenny cleared it up.
Yeah.
So
no, that's cool. And now we know. And I believe, did Kenny say he was going to prep? Is that what he said?
he did. We asked who is doing the prep, and he said he's doing the prep.
Yeah.
So
And then we also asked him about the Summer Nationals, and he said he's not going to run small tire because they don't want to do a radio prep. Is that fair?
that's correct. With the funny cars and the stuff involved there, they don't want to mess with the radio prep. Totally understand. Totally get it.
Yeah.
I still think they could do a small tire slick deal
Mm-hmm.
if they advertise it that way.
Sure.
But that's
See how it goes.
their program. It's their stuff. So
Sure.
but we got straightened out on that info.
And there was one more question that we had that we asked him about dual power adder. Remember that?
Yes.
In small tire?
Yep.
What did he come back with on that?
Twin turbos are okay.
Twin turbos are okay.
Yeah.
And 14 nitrous kits, but we already knew that.
Right.
We already knew that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what. And back to your point, Gary, about this, doing a little slick deal at the Summer Nationals. All of those cars that ran in that no prep deal, or anybody that wants to run slicks can go do that. I mean, that'd be a great opportunity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know. Like Flying H is gearing that up for be heavy on the slick class, and so we'll see what happens.
Yep. And there'll be at least two local cars that we know. You and Cameron will be in Texas, so
Sure.
Yep, two heavy hitters in my opinion that won't be here.
Oh, for the first event, the April 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Yep.
get what you're saying. Yeah, but I'm glad you asked that question because we did circle back on that. So thanks for bringing that up. And he did answer our. We had a little chat going, so it's some good information. Where are you going? But but it was nice to hear from Kenny and that sort of thing. And he definitely wants it to be a radio prep for those 3 events that he's having this year. And then he did mention the Summer Nationals that, with he called it the nitro cars, that sort of thing, that they need the wheel speed. So he's trying to put a slick deal together for small tire, but he does not want to put any kind of prep, radio prep style racing on that weekend just for that reason. And we understand that. And so that's kind of why he dropped small tire off the flyer there. And so, but anyway, so we'll see how it goes there. So I seen Troy here. I'm going to bring this back up. He talked about 4-second cars that will qualify for those rules in drag and drive. And so, Troy, I know you're working on your car and everything. We talk about it every once in a while. So I just going to ask you how it's going and see if you'll be able to make that weekend and to do the drag and drive. Was that the class you would enter in if you made it out there? So, and then what are your thoughts about making the 4th for your program? I know you're working on it. So just wanted to see what your thoughts were on that. Right on. So you got the car over at Keith's. I wondered if you took it back over there. And I know you have some things to do up front on the front motor plate. You guys making some brackets and that sort of thing to put a drive on there or something, if I remember right. So, yeah, that'll be good. I know he does great work there, and so it's good to see it back over there already. The pictures you post just look fantastic, and so I'm excited to see that car out. I really like that car, so it's looking really nice. It really is. So. Yeah.
What I miss?
Ron, I don't know if they'll be streaming or not. There usually is.
Dang. Comments.
So they, I know that of course Gary will be live. I would assume that. I don't want to speak for Gary, but I'm assuming he'll be live there. Whoops, had the wrong one there. Any streaming events and radio. So yeah, that's
let me address that. I will be live when Rodney, Rodney, I think hopefully Tim goes.
sure.
When like our local guys here, if it's not too far spread apart, I'll go live when our people are there. But like, and I know what Ron's saying, like a continuous live feed.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't know that.
No.
Right. But I'll go live just like I have the last 1 or 2 years that we've been there when our local guys are there. I'll go live for that until I get kicked out.
Yeah. I know there will be live feeds there too. Just that Forever Grudge. I mean, I can't even think of the group that was there that you talked to when you're messing around like, hey, I don't have my glasses. Does that say a 40?
Right.
that team was there and because they're at Dallas right now. I saw them in the background following Ticket Fits. And so there'll be something there. I don't know if Flow Racing will be there, but there'll be something there, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, there'll be a handful of guys there feeding that.
So it'll be fun. But and then just Troy was talking about how he's got his car back over at Keith's and they're getting that done.
Right.
He's trying to get it back and ready. Hopefully for the 4th, but we'll see. He's still got a lot of work to do. He's grinding. But
somebody asked me about Troy's car, and I said it probably needs to go back to Keith's yet, and I didn't know if it was there yet. I hadn't talked to Keith since like Sunday of last week.
Yeah.
So good news, it's at Keith's. So
back over there. Talking about putting things on the front motor plate and those final touches, making those little brackets and all that welding and whatnot.
Yep. I want to go back to Kid for a second.
Okay.
And Summer Nationals, with no small tire class. If it was a slick deal, I think cars would show up. If my car was running, I would show up for that on a radial and just make it work. The big crowds that used to be at the Summer Nationals was cool when you'd come around the tower. You're doing your thing in the staging lanes. You're getting ready to race. You get in the car. When you come around the tower, just the way it's set up, when you come around the tower, then you see all the people, and that's so cool to see people in the bleachers, people along the fence, and on the other side, the sportsman side, I guess they call it. So hopefully it can get back to that big crowds like that, because that's super cool to come around the corner of the tower and hit the water box and see all those people. So that's a cool deal. I would do it on radials, whatever, just make it work.
Sure.
So they had a video, 40-minute video Kenny had the other day. Did you watch that?
I did. It was a lot on just kind of some do's and don'ts, staging with bracket, staging lanes, how they're lining them up. They're changing the numbers, or as far as going from the road to the tower, just how they're restamping that, and just kind of some do's and don'ts with tech. And he talked about, if you have an issue, don't come up to the tower and see me, find someone downstairs, because they don't want a bunch of people in the tower. And I've seen him talking about how courtesy staging and deep staging, and a lot of it was around that sort of thing with bracket cars, which is still good to know if you're going to go up there and race anything.
Yep.
And so I just I didn't see it live, but I had it in the background, when I was out here. And so I was kind of listening listening along. And so
I watched it later, and
Yeah.
yeah,
he
same.
was talking about licensing and, getting your cert and, your and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I got out of it. Did you get anything else out of it?
I found a couple things of note. He talked about the going in entrance gate. They're going to have 2 lanes for racers on the right hand side. That's cool. Hope there's enough room for that, and I think there is. The
Yeah.
left side of the little pay shack is going to be spectator side. Spectators coming into there, so that's cool to kind of help the flow of that. Hopefully, there's room for that because you still got to have a lane to get out yet.
Sure.
So that's cool. That should speed up that and make that a little less congested. Because you get cars wound up down Ridge Road trying to get in. So I noticed that was cool. Hopefully that works good and works smooth.
Yeah. I was happy to hear that as well, because there's no, this whole 1 lane lily here, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, just get, just like when we were at MAD last week or at the No Prep deal, they had 2 lanes, they had people walking the lines, not only with the clipboard, but with the little card there. You can do the quick swipe and just get out and just go to the right. And then just putting it out there too, Gary and I talked about it even the other day about, we'll go down to some of these other events and you don't have to go find the tech person. You don't have to get in your car and you don't have to go to a tech spot and wait in line. They come to you. And that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. I think that's good customer service myself. And so
when we went to Texas last year, didn't the guy come to the trailer for tech?
He came in a little van. He just drove around and came in. He's like, "You been teched yet?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Hey, okay, I'll go ahead." And, he got out, got all his stuff out, looked the car over well. He kind of worked out of the back of his van and you just saw him just driving through the pit there real slow and got out to the next person. I saw him too. He did 2 or 3 cars right there because they're all pitted together. But, you just didn't have the inconvenience of taking your car somewhere out back and getting a line and just sitting there and kind of pull up. Takes, 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. And I was just like, man, that's pretty cool.
Yes. And, that works really well.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, just feedback,
Yep. And in that video, the other thing I want to address, this is my opinion. This is our show. And this is my opinion. This is not Rod's opinion or anybody else. This is from me, from watching that video. This is how I feel. In the video, he said they're going to allow 1 person past the water box. I don't agree with that. It's their rules. One crew member past the water box. That's a little too tight, I feel. 4 and 5 people is quite a few. 2 people past the water box for the crew with the car is totally manageable and very good. I feel, in my opinion, and that's what I'm saying, my opinion, 3, 4, 5, that's quite a few. They're putting out 1 person past the water box. I'll have Keith as a crew guy or Tanner, if he's helping you and me, however it works out. And Kennedy, she'll come. Well, she's the video person. She'll video there. She's up there videoing. We want to see video of the cars work and your crew guys doing this thing. I don't agree with the 1 person past the box, in my opinion, on our little show here. So I don't know how you feel. I don't even know what Harper's rules are at Mid America Dragway because it's never been an issue. I feel like all of us as heads up racers, we treat it well, we treat it safe. We don't abuse the number of people that need to be on the starting line. We're all pretty smart about it. We come up, we do our thing and go away, so that's where I'm at. That's a big thing I got from that video was, I think that's a huge, I don't know, I'm not saying a mistake, but just a weird rule that they've come up with, and I don't agree with it. So how do you feel about that, Rodney?
No, I mean, I listened to that as well. In my head, I was thinking through that, if, usually there's, just for me, what I do is usually, there's someone backing me up. There's someone behind the car telling the front guy where to go. And then there's usually another person taking some sort of video. So that's three. And like you said as well, Gary, it's one of those deals too, where you're there for that moment where you're with that car, and then you leave and you go on down and you do the rest of your job, which is either coming down to help hook up or come back, or, and so you're not in that spot for the whole class. And so I think that's the respect of it. You just kind of get on, do your thing, and get off. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it. And I know other people maybe not think, well, you don't need anybody backing you up. You should be able to know how to line up and that sort of thing. I've heard that before too. And that may be true. But I like kind of my little routine, and it works for us. That for that is three people. If you want the video person, which I do. And I use that video a lot, not only moments after that pass, but like later, plus you might do a little video if you want to thank some sponsors or something. You might grab a reel from that pass and to do a Facebook post or YouTube post or whatever. And so, it's, it is that. I would assume they're doing that to control the traffic or the maybe insurance. He didn't really say, but
he used an example of some type of import that something blew apart, and whatever that was about. But this isn't our cars aren't built like an import. We have, it's just not the same comparison. And one helper past the water box is nope. I don't. I just don't agree with it. That's what I'll say about it. I don't agree with it. And if I come out here and race and I bring my two people up, Keith and Kennedy, to video whatever, and it's a problem, then maybe I'll just have to stuff it in the trailer and go on my way. I'll just have to figure it out when we get there. But
and that's what he was talking about that day. I mean, that was an accident. It was a freak accident, and that could happen to anybody. Yeah. And I get that, but and you're right. I mean, it's scary as far as like, that was said on the video, and it's not a problem until it's a problem. And then if it becomes a problem, and you as a customer, you can decide if you want to go to that place. That's all that is.
And I don't think any of us abuse that number of people that help on the starting line. We all see videos of these street races and the Ducks race where there's just tons of people all over, and
sure,
we just don't abuse it in that way.
Yeah. And I know the Summer Nationals talk about the funny cars coming in, and I think they use the same type of format where they have somebody behind and they have a backup person, doing that. And I'm sure they got someone running video.
And this is Brian Wise's comment. He says, I wonder if them funny car teams will adhere to this rule. That's a good point.
We'll see how it plays out,
Yeah.
So,
that's a couple things it's a couple things to me that stood out that I wanted to bring up in my opinion.
Sure.
So take that for what it's worth. I'm wrong a lot. I proved it last week with the no prep.
We could have been wrong. We both were like, what?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong.
There you go.
I'm wrong a lot.
I hear that. But you're just taking the information. I cleared it up, and so that was nice to visit with him, and I watched that video back, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and you get a bunch of teams that race, just like, let's use our small tire groups. Nobody has large amounts of people abusing that starting line. So then you change the rhythm of how the consistency of they come, everybody has their job that they do consistently over and over, that makes you better and better being consistent. You throw that different loop in the mix of, you got to change how many people are doing their job and stuff. It just, I think it's unnecessary.
What I did hear too about like setting on the guardrail, or that right there on the left lane in the burnout. There's been
in front of the tower.
Yeah, where like I'm trying to get in the left lane and say it just so happens the staging lane you're in is way left, and you're trying to make that left turn right there, and you have to kind of like do a 3 or 4 point turn real quick to avoid people. That's a good one to get that out of the way. Just so you can get in clean to the water there.
You know what I got? And he mentioned this in the video. I've got a horn.
Oh yeah, he did.
I've got a horn. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Yeah.
That's
he made
funny.
a comment about cars with horns. I'm like, I got a horn.
Yeah. You and Jeff Lutz.
Yes, we got horns. I'm gonna look at my notes because I got some notes here and also some pictures of stuff. We got the garage. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm glad I got those spy photos. And at the end of the day, I was just checking in to see if you're working. So you were. I mean,
Yeah, I was trying.
Yeah.
I spent more time cleaning than I thought I would, but it needed to be done.
Ain't that the truth?
It
You
was-
just turn around, look like a bomb went off. You're like, oh my God, let me clean this up.
Yeah, it was a disaster. I'm marking off some stuff here.
I see Steve Baker's on, so I think it's cool that they're doing that 470, 580 index there. And I see Charles
Steve Baker that works with Bobby Stahl in the 470 index. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I noticed that they got both theories going at both tracks, which is good. And I see Charles McPherson on as well. Of course, he's a hitter in the 580 index. I'm telling you
He's
right
the
now,
580 killer.
Tell you right now, Charles, you missed out on that little note prep 580 index. You could have, you would have done well. And so I know you're good at what you do. And so I'm just giving you a compliment there. And I hope to see you this weekend. I know you'll have your car out there, so that'd be cool.
Yes. I listened to Steve Jackson's podcast, the Shake and Bake Show. I listen to a lot of different stuff, and it's fun to listen to that stuff because they'll talk about topics that are good topics that we can use also in similar instances, and we talked about rivalries. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
They had a show last week and they talked about the World Series of Pro Mod.
Right.
In this show, they talked about sportsmanship.
Okay.
And what they specifically talked about was the World Series of Pro Mod final.
Okay.
And in the final was Jim Halsey and Derek Ward. And I listened to it at work, and then I came back the other day and I made notes of this because I thought this was interesting because it kind of pertains to what we was talking about with rivalries. Let me catch these comments. Charles says, I will be there this weekend.
Nice.
Shannon says, Maverick says, hi, Ginger.
Yeah, I'm babysitting tonight.
Yep. So they was talking about the World Series of Pro Mod race and that Pro Mod final. We raced for a couple $1,000s and whatever.
Sure.
These guys were racing for $100,000.
Right.
So in the final, this is the scenario. Jim Halsey, the nitrous car, had to put pistons in it before the final. Derek Ward waited for Halsey to do that and be ready to race.
Right.
So he waited for him.
Right.
Both cars came up to fire up.
Right.
Derek Ward's starter failed.
Right.
A cylinder or something. So they talked about this. They was talking about the sportsmanship. So Halsey takes his car back to the pits so Derek can fix the car and the starter. So then they come back to race. Derek wins. That's $100,000. They just talked about the sportsmanship involved in in each of them guys doing their thing.
Right.
And I know because I was there and seen it, you was on the end of, there's two ends of that. You can
Right.
be the guy allowing the time, and you can be the guy that needs the time.
Right.
You was the guy that allowed the time. I was there and I saw it. I've also been the guy that needed the time.
Mm.
So it was interesting to hear them talk about how great the sportsmanship is with the pro mod ranks. And they did that with $100,000 on the line.
Right.
And we're just doing it for a couple grand.
Yeah.
And in my instance, it's just made me think about the importance of the sportsmanship. Was 2018 Summer Nationals, and the final, my car wouldn't start. I drove the car there. I did back then.
Right.
When I switch it from pump gas to C16, it's good the rest of the day. I never have a problem starting it. Never have. But in the staging lanes in the final that night, it wouldn't start.
Mm-hmm.
And it was baffling because it always starts the rest of the day, no matter what. So Brian was in the water box. Brian
Right.
Wise.
Yeah.
Brian waited on me. Brian waited. You know, Keith pulled the hood and they looked around. Nobody did anything. It was to try to fire it, and it fired up. Nope. We didn't do anything to it.
Right.
I don't know why it wouldn't start. But Brian was in the water box and he waited.
Right.
So someday I'll get to return that sportsmanship favor.
Yeah.
And on your end, where you gave that sportsmanship, hopefully you're on the end where somebody will give you that sportsmanship time also.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was just interesting. They talked about that, and it made me think of your situation and mine, where we've both been there on the opposite sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was just an interesting
It is.
approach. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff there, Gary. And you're right. You compared it to, 100,000 and we're over here for a little bit of money. But at the same time, your killer instincts comes in, like you want to win and how can I get through this? And especially, I mean, I don't know if it'd be different if it was the first round or the final round, if that scenario plays into as far as waiting. But I told myself before I even started racing that I may come through these scenarios and what I would do. And it didn't matter who it was either. I wasn't going to do it for someone I liked or someone I didn't like. I was going to play it the same, And so
that was going to be one of my questions too. And I think you kind of answered. And the approach I was going to take was like, what if you was rubbed wrong by X individual sometime in the past, and would you treat it the same, or would you have that grudge against that person that maybe did you wrong in the past and remembered,
Oh, I'm sure you'll remember things, you know what I mean, as you get home and that sort of thing. But accidents happen, you know what I mean? Or not accidents, incidents happen, like your little thing with the fuel, and it just didn't start for whatever reason, and you needed 5 minutes or whatever, I've seen people throw batteries in to last, in the staging lanes and that sort of thing. They didn't do a good recharge, the pass before, and so people gave them some time that way. And so here's another. There's two. You good?
You just reminded me, battery wise, I've been handed that twice. Then I just remembered Marvin Jenkins waited on me while I had a battery issue in the staging lanes.
Yeah.
So
that's what usually happens, and that one happens a lot. And,
I'm down too. I owe two forward favors down the road. You know what I mean?
So that's the number one. So here's the two questions I asked myself before I started racing again, because I knew we'd get in these situations and I wanted to kind of talk through it with myself so I'm not making a decision right there in the moment. So the first one we addressed with, like, would you wait on somebody? And so, yes, I'm going to wait. And then the second one is if someone came up to you and you were in the finals and they asked you to split. And so I already know my answer to myself. I already made that decision. So if that happens, and I can give you that answer now if you want it, but that's the second question that I had my talk with myself. So I've already made the decision. So I'm not thinking about it at the moment. I already have my decision made. And so.
Okay. You're your decision on split, is that something you want to put out, or you want to keep to yourself?
I think I'll keep it. Yeah.
That's my answer too, is I think there's a lot of things that come into play.
Mhm.
Like, I'll just say honestly, like in a split situation,
Mhm.
if I'm having a day and I'm killing it and I really believe that I'm gonna get it in the final, and I don't think I'm gonna split.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
I get it.
there's so many different scenarios that would maybe alter your decision, but
Yeah.
that's the one that really stands out to me. Like, if you're just killing it, your lights, your ET, you're just smoking,
It's your day.
every round. It's like, dang, you can't do nothing wrong.
It's your day.
And yeah, you may not split. And it also depends on who the other car is. But
Does it?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like maybe the fastest car isn't making the rounds each time.
Sure.
And you've seen, you got that car covered, and you've got that confidence all day. You're killing it. It's like, no, I'm going to win this. I don't want to split because I'm cashing that check.
Okay. So what if let's just keep rolling with it. We're having fun.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
You're number 4 qualifier, and the person that comes up and wants to split's number 1, and he's got you. And you're having a great day, just like you said.
Man, I don't know. Yeah, there's so many scenarios that.
Right. Well, that's why I made my decision, and I'm not. The scenarios don't matter, and the person doesn't matter.
Yeah, and sometimes, like, it's kind of a no-brainer that you think, I better split just to make sure that things are, haul home some money.
Sure.
Yeah, the scenarios are so many different scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take the Tulsa race. Like, I'm racing Foreman. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, and we didn't qualify because they chip draw. So he probably would out qualify me, obviously. He's got 2 or 3 tenths on me and probably 15 mile an hour, or maybe 10. But anyway, and look how that went down. Like, I should have won that race. Like, he didn't make a pass. And but I turned off the red light. So, like, I was, I did the bonehead move, and it was such a lesson learned too. I did that whole procedure all wrong. And I learned so much from it. And I've learned more from losing than I have from winning in procedures and stuff. There's something I did with Brendan that I lost by 0.006, 2 or 3 years ago. I still remember that I'll never do again, and that's just it.
Yeah. Oh, that was pretty fun and interesting stuff to talk about.
Now, here's another one that a decision wasn't made, but I see Ron down here, and so bring that up at the last comment. And so I was going to race Chris and from Orion. Yeah.
Right.
And so, they lost the track. The sun's gone. The track's not going to happen. You know what I mean? And so, and then we both hit the tires in the semis. And I think he even had a bye, and he hit the tires. I think I raced Weiss, and me and Weiss both hit the tires. He hit him first, and I hit it 100 feet out, so I had a little momentum. And then Chris and I decided to just split it and not even come up for the final. Now, but as a racer, you got to race the racetrack too, right? And so, you just got to go A to B, whatever the conditions are, not, perfect conditions. So you have to think about that B, C, D tune-up that you put in there. So, because if he would have, if we would have raced, that's what I had to. My A tune-up wasn't going to go. I just proved it. So I had to, do something else. So, and that's what we would have done in the finals, if that was the case.
Yeah, I also think it depends on who's in the other lane. Like, some guys you'd catch in the final, and it's like, you don't care if you take the bigger amount of winning pot. You just like to split it and have a fun race with the guy in the other lane and take home an equal amount. Like, and I'm gonna say, for example, you and me, if we end up in the final, I wouldn't mind splitting. It's
Sure.
I don't care who takes home more money. Just we're gonna haul home the equal amount and win. Somebody's gonna win, get the trophy, the big check. Just I think some of it depends on who the other guy is in the other lane.
That's interesting.
What?
Let's hit a couple of these.
Biggest thing. Where's that at? Facebook user. This is up here. Oh, this is Troy.
Yeah.
Troy says, biggest thing is we not do this for a living. We all competitive and want to win, but we all family. We all there to enjoy what we love.
That's it.
Yeah, he's
At
right.
the end of the day,
right.
it's more about giving each other crap, you know. And so with that group, who's this guy from Texas at the Texas experience?
That's Brian Wise. Brian says, I had a horrible experience in Texas. I waited for a racer in the finals and was still talked about as a bad person, even though I waited. Jeez.
Oh, wow.
Man, that's terrible.
Yeah.
And this is Barry Peter. Barry says, your opinion, does it change how you handle it after the burnout?
My situation was after the burnout. My most recent one, you know, with Shane and Brendan.
And the decision has to be made, obviously, before the burnout if you're gonna
split. But I think he might be talking, you know, if you're gonna wait.
Oh, right. Does your opinion change how you handle that?
Yeah, because that's true. It could happen, you know, leading up to the race, and you know, you're already in there.
You was on the starting line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give a shout out here to Freaking Rican 405 real quick. Jose, he says he just left the Conquer the Concrete, some pretty good racing, made some good money gambling.
Nice. I saw him on there. There was a couple people on live. I think it was Big Rob, and I saw him helping out Daddy Dave and some others, you know, backing the car up, and that was cool. I saw Nick Roberts win a couple rounds. There was a super fast Red Nova too that went a few rounds in small tire. I don't know who ended up winning that deal, but Freaking Rican, if you can lay it out there and tell us the winners, if you can think through it. Like I saw this dragster and Run What You Brung, I think it was, and that thing.
The dragster looked good.
Yeah. And then I'm kind of curious who won that, you know, because I saw Murder Nova out there with the OG on 28s, and so Callie Nate and some others. So I think the LS truck was out there as well, probably running small tire, I'm assuming. But, yeah. So another car that's rolling out there right now in that little group is that Jolene car, that Maverick.
Yep, he does real well.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. The only that pretty much covers my notes when we're almost at the 2-hour mark.
Cool.
But you know, we talked about the True Street stuff with Mr. Harper and
the Dragon Drive.
Yep. There's a couple things I wanted to look at and that'll be all I have. Okay. You got some stuff. Let me fix this. So, how did I mess that up? 2024 True Street, May 4th, sponsored by Jorns and Associates, Revved Up Custom Laser Works, and Mid America Dragway. Race promoters have the right to refuse a vehicle if they do not see fit the spirit of the class. Contact Cliff or Gary Harper.
Man, what's that mean? The spirit of the class.
Hang on a second. Here's Freaking Rican says, Murder Nova and Ricky are going into the finals. Chuck was out there with me running his mouth. That's easy to believe right there. Nice, Murder Nova and Ricky.
Nice. Cool.
Right. Where'd that say that? Right to refuse a vehicle they do not see fit the spirit of the class. Well, it has to fit specific rules, you know. Freaking Rican says Ricky is Ryan Martin's crew guy.
Right on.
What's he racing, Jose? What's he have? Which car was it? Maybe Rodney, you might know.
No, I don't. But did he have the red Chevy too?
I bet he'll tell us here in a minute.
Yeah.
So that's your contact. Yep. Intentions of this class are for street strip type cars. Entry fee is $100. Blah blah blah. Must will be allowed one-time trial. Mr. Harper talked about that. Must complete a 20 to 25 mile cruise before first round. He talked about that. Go to 7 clans, drive back. He talked about all this. Chip draw. Depending on the car count, race may be divided into 2 classes. True Street Wild will be 8th mile. True Street mild, eighth mile or quarter. Okay. So the rules must meet. This is all standards. 400 tree, heads up, no buybacks, clocks off. There's just some few things I seen here that I liked. Here's the comments. Freakin' Rican says the blue Mustang with black front end, blow through turbo setup with a slipping transmission.
I saw that one. I saw that.
Okay.
So he was doing well then if he made it to the finals.
Max tire is a 28-10-5 non-W, unless it's equipped from factory with the larger, like the newer type cars. I suppose that means. It also says drag radial, ET street, and slicks are allowed. So this is good that they're not. What they're saying is get on the highway with whatever you want, and I like that.
Oh yeah, I just saw that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna race on a drag radio because it's gonna be drag radio prepped from Mr. Harper, but they're not saying you have to drive on a DOT tire and blah blah this. Now, well, just when you go out the gate, let that be up to the person that's driving the car. If they feel like they won't be bothered by law enforcement with the tire, which is usually not an issue.
Right. Well, I think they'll be in like a little cruise pack deal.
Oh, yeah. And let me bring this up real quick because Tracy made a comment. She told me about this. This is Tracy Lynn. Tracy says, I need heads up racer photos for this season's series ads. So
cool.
I'm not going to submit a photo because my car didn't even run. So Rodney and you guys, Cameron,
You're
whoever
saying
else,
that you have to have a running car to submit a photo?
that's how I feel. I'm not gonna
That's cool.
I'm not gonna submit a photo without a car that don't run.
Sure.
For the flyers and stuff, send her your picture of your car so she can do something with the flyers. This is Freakin' Rican says the best thing I ever heard tonight was the guy who had the full-blown funny car asked if he was getting a time slip. No. Well,
just write it down on a piece of paper. Here you go.
Just throw some numbers down. Dude, look at this.
That's funny.
This is Troy. Troy says, I don't believe they understand the street type vehicles that are around Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, and Missouri. Payout not big enough to bring big hitters, but there's a chance a mid to low 4-second car that make that drive easy and qualify.
Sure.
Troy is correct.
Let's let it happen.
Yep. So this tire deal was cool. I liked seeing this in the tire rule. They're not telling you what tire you have to drive on the highway with. I like that. Just you're going to race on something, so drive on the street with it. I drove on a 275 Pro tire and drag week all week, 1,300 miles, and I raced on that tire too.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. So they can
how many qualifying passes?
I think you're right off the trailer there. That conquer the concrete. I don't think you're getting any hits. Yeah.
And then here's like the meat of the rules. I like most of it. It's pretty in line. Dual fuel system is okay. No fuel allowed. Mr. Harper talked about that. No fuel to be added. Insurance card tags and registration, working head and tail lights. And I'm going to throw something in here that they missed. A horn. Working horn. These True Street type events, most of them have a horn. It seems pretty minute and minuscule and simple, but you need a horn. It's a streetcar. You need a horn. I got a horn. It's right here.
Does that mean you need windshield wipers?
It doesn't say anything about that.
Well,
I think
it's the same thing, right? Why do you need a
yeah,
horn?
kind of. I mean, you can get away with Rain X can do a lot for you.
If you're trying to make a point about a horn, I mean, it's the same thing.
Right. Yep, you're right. Ish. Side windows must.
I think what you're saying is passing like some sort of DOT inspection or something. I'm gathering that's what you mean by that.
Yeah. And it's just like some of the drag and drive stuff, they'll check that. Like you gotta have a horn, you gotta have lights.
Sure.
Like wipers are pretty optional and stuff because Rain-X stuff works so good.
Okay.
And here's somebody says, Troy says Rain-X. Yeah.
Yeah.
Must have 2 front seats and dash. That's pretty standard. Side windows must be able to roll up and down. Doesn't say what type of material it needs to be. Aftermarket bolt-on front and rear suspension is okay. That's good. No spindle mount front wheels. I disagree. And I'm not saying that because that's what my car would need to fit them rules. I don't have spindle mount stuff. I don't think this needs to be a rule where you're telling somebody what that needs to be on the front of the car. That's a pretty silly rule. I don't think it needs to be in there. No full tube chassis. Mini tub is okay. Pretty standard. Stock appearing firewall, okay to be modified as needed, but not completely cut out. Multiple power adders, okay. So spray your nitrous on your turbo and whatever else. That's exactly what that says. Multiple power adders. Is that how you see that?
Yeah, that's how I see that. I'd see, being able to mix like we talked about last week,
Yep. That's why I wanted to bring that up. That's wide open. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Yep. Mufflers are required unless vehicles turbocharged. Exhaust may exit anywhere. I like to see that. Some stuff wants to tell you where to put the exhaust, and why somebody would tell you how you need to build your car is kind of ridiculous. This is a giant wild west mix right here. Fiberglass or carbon fiber components are limited to hood, front fenders, deck lid, hatches, doors, sunroofs / T-tops, target tops, wings, ground effects, and bumpers only. That's the entire car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Quarter panels,
fiberglass doors.
Yeah. Quarter panels and roof must remain as originally manufactured. One-piece front ends are not permitted. That seems kind of silly considering the sentence above it that allows everything. All body panels must be factory style. I get that. That's cool. Aftermarket wings and spoilers are permitted. Forward-facing hood scoops / turbo or supercharger inlets are permitted.
Right on.
All you need is a steel roof and quarter panels. The rest of this is just holy moly, wow. Right? That's pretty wild.
Right, it's basically the same thing, steel roof and quarters. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, all allowing all of that, but then putting a rule against no spindle mounts. I don't get that. But I seen them rules, and I just wanted to pull that up and just shout about that real quick.
What do you think that? And I've seen other classes where they do the cruise back in the day at Kid or whatever, and they bring them back to the or at Noble, wherever, and even Wild Street back in the NMRA days, or Mobile 1-4 Challenge. I go to all those back in the day, and it seemed like after the Wild Street Cruise, that's what it was called back then.
Yep.
People could they couldn't pop their hood, but they could fuel or
tires.
They could change tires. And I see like you cannot add fuel. And I'm assuming they're just doing that for a fuel capacity, just to have a bigger tank.
Yeah, if your car just had one tank, then my car has 2 tanks. So in all of these rules, my car fits everything, and it'll be a 450.
I think everybody's car does. It doesn't have a spindle mount.
Right. I have a dual fuel system, so I don't know if I want to say too much before I ever get a chance to run this or not. I might just keep quiet.
Right. I guess what you're telling everybody, you'll be there May 4th.
No, I'm not saying that. I will not.
That's what this guy's asking right here.
Hey, he wants to know when I'll be done with it. I don't know, Jose. I don't know. It'll be, hey, maybe I should just say next week, and then next week keeps coming.
There
Next
you
week,
go. Like
and
the
then,
intake.
and then finally next week we'll show up.
2
weeks.
tubes. 2 tubes.
Man, Jose, I wish I could give you a better answer.
I think it'll
Maybe you
start
gotta-
flowing when you get back into it. You know what I mean?
Maybe he's got a pocket full of money, and when it's done and running, he's just gonna come buy it.
Oh man,
Whoa,
he likes
how
those
about that?
red GTs.
Yeah, this is Troy. Would love to see same way they do it on streetcar bragging rights. Qualifying is no boards lit, then during eliminations after class split boards on. Yeah, that was pretty cool how they did that at
I
Ducks
thought
Race.
they were going to do that. I thought that was the way they were going to do it.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it depends. Yeah, because who's this? Gary will be there in October. Oh, this is Tracy Lynn. Gary will be there in October for Battle for the Belt.
Oh, she's calling you out right
There's
there.
a possibility that October
Yeah.
could work. Yeah, at least that's far enough out. I can maybe say that. But I wanted to bring up these rules, these drag and drive rules, and kind of like my car fits this. I think Troy's does too.
I think every car that doesn't have a spindle mount fits it.
Yeah, and that doesn't have to add fuel. I wouldn't have to add fuel. I would have to move some valves to change the fuel system.
Yep.
I'll say this.
You can have one fuel system with one fuel and another fuel system with the other fuel, and all you got to do is hit some sort of electronic switch or a manual valve, and you got all the fuel you need.
I want to say something else, but I don't want that to be a rule before I ever get a chance to do it. I don't know if I would do this class, but maybe once to do it. So I'll just leave it at that.
I just like that the fact that they're doing it, and it brings more cars to the track. Then it's going to be, great. If this motivates you to get on to work on your car faster, bring it to the track.
Yep. And I would like to do a deal. Obviously I should, chase the outlaw stuff, but my car fits this, and it would be fun to do at least once, because I know it could do it. There'd be no problem driving on the street 20, 30, 40, 50 miles or whatever. It would just be fun to do because it's a street car. It's a race car with a plate and a trailer hitch and registration. You know what I mean? I'll call it what it is. It's a race car with a license plate. And that's what it is. But I can drive it on the street. And this would be a fun class. Yeah. That's all I got for that. I just wanted to bring that stuff up and look at those rules. It's good. It's a good, solid set of rules.
Yeah, I'm glad that Cliff did a lot of work here to bring this to it. He went out and got sponsors, and saw an opening there. And if it can bring more cars to the track, then all for it.
This is Troy. Troy says, I would say like last time they did street class, if for some reason my car actually ran good, but the only one in that time, I would back out and race small tire, but I would ask to do cruise.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years back when they had small tires, and they kind of had a class under that, or however you want to say it, and it had a cruise. I remember Troy doubled up sometimes. And there were some people that, it is what it is, that probably thought, why are you racing over here with us? Your car runs a lot faster, even though you fit the rules. And I'm, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that happened to him. And as he told me, so I guess I do know it for a fact, but I get it. And it's like, Gary said before, Gary Harper said before that, it's just the spirit and people, just like, bringing in this limited class, that's another reason. There's a reason why they're doing that, and they just want to get more cars to the track.
Yep. And this is kind of backtracking a little bit, but we had the pictures of the Russell Foreman and Jake Mason and him. Man, the Titans race in May at the American Dragway is going to be killer.
Yeah.
Devin and Jake and Russell and Craven and them guys, dude, that's going to be a crazy show.
It's going to be good.
It's gonna be fast. It's gonna be some fast cars, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun.
I don't think it'll be $399 fast,
Yeah, it'll be fast.
but it'll be good. Yep. Well, I've got everything marked off my list, and the pictures and stuff are all.
What are you going to work on this week on that car?
Man, what am I going to work on? I'm going to keep cherry picking my table over there
Okay.
of quick satisfaction that I can throw on real quick.
Right
I'm going
on.
to finish making a couple new ground cables for the engine and stuff, and scour my bench and look at some quick, easy things I can toss on. Zip tie some wires up by the transmission that needs to be tied up out of the way. Just knock out some easy, quick stuff, and then get back on the stainless tubing for the exhaust.
Cool.
So yeah, that's just, man, that stuff's time consuming, and
Yeah.
and, that's why I went the route that I did was, and I said it early, was fast, quick, and easy gratification.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good. This is on. This is on. This is on. Mark this off. Mark this off. Just, I might
Cool.
continue that route for a little bit.
Yeah. I wrote it down.
Yep.
No, that's great. Yep. And then one day that list will get smaller and smaller, and light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, it keeps you energized and motivated and fired up, and the weather's great, and the door's open, and it just feels good. It's not hot, it's not cold. The weather's great. It's just feel good. Work on the car weather.
Yeah. Freaking Rican said if you'll take a check, he'll take it.
I got a brand new checkbook. Well, you got a lot of money then if you got a checkbook.
Okay. There you go.
You got a check, you got money.
I can get you a big check. You have to go to the big bank, but I can get you a big check too, a small check, whatever you want to do.
That's funny. I got a brand new checkbook.
Yeah.
Dude.
Huh?
Sweet.
Cool.
Oh, I missed that. Ron says 4.0 fast. No, I don't think so. I mean, I think he's talking about Titans.
Yeah, he's talking about the May 17th race. What do you think?
Based off what?
That, like Russell won a 10 up in Ennis. Craven won a 10 at his place.
Yep.
And we're pretty sure the track condition will be there.
Yep.
I mean,
the weather and the track. A high 409, 408.
Yeah.
That's still a long ways from a 399.
Well, no, it's 4.0 is the question.
Yeah. 4.0. But what Ron says there, 4.0.
And so,
hey, Cameron.
Yeah.
Cameron is not far.
He could get some teens, and Devin was in the teens before. They're not going to go backwards. They're going to keep going forward. So.
Yep, and that's early May.
Yeah.
No, that's mid-May, 17th.
Mid-May. So it might be a little weather, but we'll see. My fastest pass at Arc City was not the best air.
Was that like 3,000 feet ish?
3,600.
Ooh, dang!
Got it on the time slip.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's possible.
Yep, I would not be shocked at a 409, 408. Nothing faster than a faster than a 406, 405. Not yet.
Well,
but I could be wrong.
If it gets in the 4.0s, we might have to call Keith up and get that 399 belt ready.
I know. Have to get it cooking.
Yeah.
I'm wrong a lot. I'll admit it. We've seen it here live. I've been wrong. I'm good at being wrong.
It's just awesome. Those guys are racing around there.
Tracy says, we'll see what these Hemis do. These Hemis won't do anything for a while. I'll say that too. They'll do something.
Yeah.
But not right away.
They'll be fast.
Yep. They will eventually be fast. That's that's when I'll backpedal to the limited class with a small block.
Crazy.
I know. I like just talking stupid stuff. Troy, you got a Hemi too. He says big Hemis. I don't know how big yours is. It might be a 500-inch small block Hemi.
I think all of them are 426.
Yeah. Well, you ready to cash it in, Rod?
Yeah, when we bring our sponsors in, thank them.
Yep. These partners for 2024 with us: Mid America Dragway, Ultra Color Collision Repair, Sandlin Iron and Metal, and Harry Street Carpet. Thank you for being great partners in 2024. And if you're on the YouTubes, check out our YouTube channel, Heads Up Racing, Gary and Hot Rod Podcast. This is what it looks like if you come across it. You may have to go there with this Facebook smoking out the group deal. So it may have to be there.
Right on.
We got some comments. What's going on here? Troy says it's small cubic inches with low boost. Tracy Lynn says, great show, fellas. Thank you, Tracy. Brian Wise says, Heckman over Mason.
Oh,
them guys go to Texas. They had to race each other. Dang.
Yeah, I bet that was good.
Can't wait till they come to Mid America Dragway for Titans.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great, great race. All right, Rodney.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
We covered a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And that's all I know.
All right.
Portions of this broadcast, I could have been wrong. That's my disclaimer. I could have been wrong in talking out my ass. I don't know.
Well, you said it. It's your opinion, you know.
Yeah. Yep. And we can't follow all the sheep. We got to have some strayed controversy somewhere along the road. So why not? Yep. All right. 2 hours and 22 minutes in. This is our longest one. It's pretty easy to do. All right. You ready to get, Rod?
Let's do it.
Oh, okay. Wait a second. Okay. Ready? It's got a little delay there. Oh, I got to shut it off. Okay. All right. They're falling off the wagon here. We're down to 7. We better shut it off. All right. Good night, Rod. See you later.
All right. See you later.